The first thing I'd like to say is take a step back and realize the vast majority of people today won't even touch cryptocurrencies. They're considered very high risk investments, and they indeed can have a lot of downside risk and volatility, especially if you're not careful about what you invest in. With respect to this, I'm interested in and will be discussing what I believe is among the safest, yes, yet highest potential gain cryptocurrency. This video is not investment advice, it's just a culmination of my own thousands of hours of research. I really want to emphasize at the beginning here too, this isn't a jumping on the bandwagon type video. This is fundamental analysis. I'll be looking at the pure value propositions of the cryptocurrencies I'll be discussing. The factors I'll be looking at include the size and value of the communities, strength of the network capacity, speed of transactions, denominations, age of the cryptocurrency, price stability and inflation, and current valuations. So let's get started. In regard to the size and value of the community, which I look at as a good indicator of potential growth, Dogecoin has the second biggest cryptocurrency community behind Bitcoin, and it's without question larger than Litecoin's. You can see this via the size of the communities on Reddit, as well as observing the amount of active addresses, both of which Dogecoin typically maintains about double the active users as Litecoin, if not more. I want to say too, consider the network effect. This implies, for instance, that if one network is 10 times smaller than another, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll have 1/10 the value. It could be a degree of power less, say 1/100th the value of the larger network. This is relevant in comparing Dogecoin against the sea of other cryptocurrencies out there. I also want to point out the qualitative value of the community. This is the value that may not immediately or obviously impact the success of a cryptocurrency, but I do pay attention to and value quality myself. I think it's important for long-term success. With that being said, Dogecoin has the friendliest community in any cryptocurrency, or really one of the friendliest communities I've ever come across in my life. I feel this is important because it makes it less daunting for new users to join the community. It can help create raving fans who market on their own for fun and can cause ideas to go viral. We've seen this happen a bit when Twitch.tv added the Dogecoin emoticon, and it was all over Twitch. I captured some of it and actually put it in another video I made over a year ago. So feel free to check that out. I'll put a link to it below so you can see it after this video if you like. Furthermore, the Dogecoin community has come together and done some pretty impressive things. For example, the Doge for Water, which was raising money for drinking water wells in Kenya. They also sent the Jamaican bobsled team to the Olympics, pretty cool. And also a NASCAR sponsorship for driver Josh Wise. To this day, no other cryptocurrency has surpassed Dogecoin in these kinds of charitable activities. Next up, we'll look at the strength of the network. Dogecoin and Litecoin use the same algorithm called script. This is the algorithm which secures the network. However, Dogecoin has a distinct advantage here, as I'd say about a year ago, it hard forked to auxiliary proof of work, as it's called, basically meaning that any cryptocurrency that is mined using the script algorithm can also use that same computing power to mine Dogecoin. As a result, virtually everyone mining Litecoin is also mining Dogecoin because there's no downside to mining Dogecoin alongside it with it, and it just results in an added payout because you're getting the Litecoin along with Dogecoin. Because of this, Dogecoin effectively has all the mining power of Litecoin, but it's not the other way around. Litecoin isn't able to benefit from people who are only mining Dogecoin. Thus, Dogecoin's network is actually more secure than Litecoin's. Moving on to network capacity, Dogecoin's capacity compared to Litecoin's is 2.5 times greater. This is simply because both have 1 megabyte block sizes. That's the limit of transactions that can occur every period, every block. So they both have the same block sizes, but Dogecoin's blocks occur every minute, while Litecoin's occur every 2.5 minutes. This is relevant because Bitcoin's current issues are about the blocks becoming full or its network hitting the capacity. This has been a serious problem with Bitcoin right now, and it's been an ongoing ordeal for about a year. So this is certainly relevant. Also, the speed of the transactions, Dogecoin is again about 2.5 times faster than Litecoin. This again just occurs because Litecoin's blocks occur every 2.5 minutes, Dogecoin's occur every minute. So just another bonus there too. So next we'll look at denominations. I'm sure you've heard in the Bitcoin community, or if you've ever used Bitcoin, about using fractions of a Bitcoin for purchases And it's a little weird, and especially for a newcomer to Bitcoin, it certainly seems a little strange. This is one reason why I think Dogecoin has an advantage too. Again, it's a qualitative effect, but it certainly helps people feel richer. There's a lot more Dogecoins than there are Bitcoin. And it seems more practical to make a transaction by, say, if you're buying a cup of coffee, buying it for 9,000 Dogecoins rather than, say, 0.0094 of a Bitcoin. In regard to the age of the cryptocurrency, this is the main thing Litecoin beats Dogecoin at. And at this point, Dogecoin's been around for about 2 years as well, so it's also passed the test of time. So I don't think it's super relevant, but alas, Litecoin has the advantage here. And now looking at price stability. And this is important for conservative investors or just, most investors, because people don't want to lose what they have, right? So as part of this, one part is inflation. Dogecoin's inflation is at a bit less than 5% a year. Litecoin's is still over double that. Over the past year or so, Dogecoin's floated around the $100 to $170 per million range for some time. Right now, it's about $250 per million, which I wish I'd made this video a little sooner because I've believed in Dogecoin the whole time. But even at the levels it's at right now, the downside has very strong support around $100 per million. All in all, though, downside risk is fairly small in the cryptocurrency world, especially when considered to the upside potential. So now that we've considered some of the aspects of the cryptocurrencies, let's look at their current valuations. Dogecoin's market cap is around 25 million. Litecoin's is around 150 million. Based on what I've discussed in this video, I believe Dogecoin certainly deserves to have an equal, if not higher, valuation than Litecoin. In our next surge, once we have a new influx of capital pouring into these markets, I'd say we have a strong likelihood of Dogecoin surpassing Litecoin's valuations, especially once people start paying attention to the value propositions of each cryptocurrency and, the mass organic marketing begins, as happens in the cryptocurrency bubbles. Why does all this matter? Because in the next cryptocurrency bubble, when money is pouring in, I'm interested in what cryptocurrencies are going to see the greatest growth. And to elaborate, I'm looking at the greatest growth with the lowest potential risk. Lowest risk is important here, as I'm sure there'll be some little cryptocurrencies that come out of nowhere, like a pump and dump one that no one sees coming. In regard to price projections, it's difficult to say, but I estimate we can reach a market cap of around 50 billion or more in the cryptocurrency ecosystem at large. Currently, the market cap of all cryptocurrencies are around 7 billion. Note that in the last bubble, we peaked at a market cap of around 12 billion, and that was over 2 years ago, and it's been quite some time since then, or since we've had a big move, and since that time, the cryptocurrency world has roughly tripled in the amount of users. And this has been in the relatively calm period we've had. In regard to this next boom and what share of it Dogecoin should have, I estimate Dogecoin's upside at a market cap of around $1 billion, or again, perhaps bubbling higher. Again, in regard to its downside, Dogecoin has shown very strong support around the $100 per million level over the past year. At that price, the market cap is only around $10 million or so. And again, this is for the cryptocurrency with the second largest community behind Bitcoin. Compare that to Bitcoin, which over the past year had a market cap of no less than 2 to 3 billion throughout the whole period, which is 200 to 300 times greater in price than Dogecoin. All in all, I expect Dogecoin to certainly outperform Bitcoin and Litecoin in the next bubble, and with manageable downside risk. Consider more so, Dogecoin as one of the safest and most stable cryptocurrency investments today, especially in light of Bitcoin's recent issues with its block size capacity or its transaction capacity becoming full. I'd say it's definitely the best choice between these three major players, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. And once more, of course, I wish I made this video when Dogecoin was floating in the $100 to $150 per million range, but even today, we have a downside risk of conservatively of about 1/3 of the value and an upside potential of about 40 times or more of its value today. And that's it. Thanks for checking out my video. If you like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.